on this computer. All right, we are now recording this and I will reset the Zoom real quick. Welcome everybody, this is Yonks with REtoken DAO. This is the tokenomics working group, and this is actually our first working group session on tokenomics for REtoken DAO. So super excited to be co-leading with this. I know that Teresa is at a barbecue this afternoon. So, and that's another benefit of us making the decision to record this, is that those that aren't able to participate will be able to catch up on this, I think, very important topic, which is tokenomics working group. So I'm going to go ahead and allow other people to introduce themselves, since this we are recording it. This again, Yonks, Jason Yonker. You can find me at Yonks, Y-O-N-K-S on Twitter. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it. Just going to go down the list here over to Tiago. Go ahead, over to you, Tiago.
How's it going? Yes, my name is Tiago. Crypto enthusiast. I've been involved with crypto not too long, but super excited about it. TCE is a company that I'm forming, has multiple layers, but one of them is tokenizing commercial real estate. I have a tokencre.com and token CRE NFTs that I'm looking to use as marketing platforms to attract property owners that are interested in tokenizing their properties and providing them that service. My background is real estate. I have my real estate license. I've been doing it out of California for the last almost 20 years. And recently came over to Colorado and really trying to build my brand and my company, and tokenizing real estate is something I'm very interested in, and excited that Yonks put this group together. We could have a working group and talk about it because it's so new. We got to figure out how we're going to do it. But that's me. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks, Tiago. Down the list to you, Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I just joined yesterday. I am brand new to crypto, just started kind of getting into it this year, and have just decided as of 2 weeks ago to start learning how to do real estate investing. And I am very interested in the tokenization aspect of it, as well as any other aspects of it, as I see crypto being the future of currency in the very near future. So that's just sort of why I've decided to go ahead and adopt it, even though I'm a bit technologically adverse. So I was kind of looking for people I could partner with and start a team. And I would look on Clubhouse, which is where I was yesterday, and I thought, oh, hey, this is the kind of stuff I was looking for. So I decided to go ahead and jump in head first, not really knowing what to expect or what's going on, and just yeah, so that's me. Here I am.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Andrea. And to continue down the list, let's kick it over to Serge.
Hey guys, I'm Serge from Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. I'm an entrepreneur, maker, coder, and author, and I'm on a mission to help recognize sustainable and affordable 3D printed housing. Thank you.
Thank you, Serge. And over to you, Tyler.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tyler. I'm Jason's wife. I am super excited to be getting to know all you guys and provide more options in real estate tokenization to make it more transparent, more fair, more flexible, and just give an opportunity for people who have been on the financial margins a chance to go from being renters to being owners. So super excited to be part of this.
All right, I think that's everybody here. So again, this is the first tokenomics working group. So this is a Google Docs that I've got that I put some agenda together for. So the big question is, why do we need social tokens? So I'm not sure how many people were on the DAO working group, and I've got a little comment over here for this first bullet point of answering this is one for governance. And on our previous DAO working group, we were actually going through the process, and might even later on, if somebody would be interested, we could look at that again when we were looking at setting up Snapshot. And one of the things to facilitate the proposal, which is a voting mechanism within the Snapshot, which is the token that you're going to utilize to represent that. That's normally the easiest. And I don't think I've got that in this article right now, but there's a really good article that I'm going to include later on this that talks about the different voting mechanisms. And the easiest one to implement is a quorum voting methodology. And then, so that's number one, governance. And then the other thing is proof of community and or contribution. So like right now, we've got people participating in the call, and that's a proof of community. And then also, like, as we continue to create content, like courses, we were talking the other day on one of our working groups for creating a course especially geared towards the complex topic of real estate tokenization. So how can we provide some representation as far as the contributions that people are making to make the REtoken community better? So also I saw that Teresa popped in, wanted to let you know, Teresa, that we are recording. If you wanted to do a quick audio introduction of yourself before we kick it open to ask questions about, or any other potential bullet points on this, why do we need social tokens? So over to you, Teresa. And to carry on, I don't know if she's going to be able to mic, so I will carry on. So that being said, I want to open up if somebody would like to hop in here as far as maybe some other reasons why that we could need social tokens. And one of the reasons that I'm calling it social tokens is, and dig deeper into that here later, there's actually a podcast that I started listening to that I haven't finished, and I might bring that open on another tab while I'm opening up the mic for contribution right now.
So just to be clear, social token has nothing to do with tokenization, just a term you chose for pillars of like a social community, right?
Well, and the social token is one of the things. Governance token is another, because I mean, we've got that as a bullet point here. So, and whether you call it a community token, so it's just a label, if you will. It'll still like, and that's one of the other bullet points over here on this, on the decisions we must make, is like, what blockchain will we issue social tokens on, like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Tezos, etc. So does that answer your question, Tiago?
It does. Now, these tokens, what is the value of the tokens to put them on the blockchain? Just again, I'm new to this, Yank, so I'm sorry if these are remedial kind of questions, but if we could, kind of dumb it down for me just a little bit. But what is the value that these tokens are going to represent on the blockchain for somebody to purchase?
So one of the values is like utilizing it for governance. So, and I'm not necessarily advocating that we're looking to distribute these so that somebody could purchase them, because one of the aspects of these is that it needs to be valueless. So otherwise it would be construed as a security offering. So what these provide is a mechanism of substantiating like a effort spent to, one, create content, or like whether it's a podcast or a blog article or a video for a course. I mean, there's lots of opportunities to create content that would make it support the overall mission of REtoken DAO, which is to increase the proliferation of real estate security tokens.
One easy way to think about it is just imagine a community that you might be more familiar with, like a Facebook group or any other kind of community that you may be in. There are certain power users who are contributing lots and lots to the community, and there's a whole bunch of people that are kind of sitting by doing little or nothing. So when we're making decisions as a community, we want to give more weight to our power users, and because they're the ones who are driving the community. So the people that raise their hand and say, yes, I want to be a power user for this community, are going to be the ones who get the most votes, determining the direction, whatever it may be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I get it. I appreciate the clarity. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and here's a example. I don't know if anybody's familiar with mirror.xyz, but this is a Web3 publishing platform that's probably most similar to a medium.com. But this is one that, with it being Web3, it's based on the blockchain. And I don't know what it looks like as far as the distribution of the right tokens. So that would be more of a social token or a proof of contribution token that they do there. So this is a resource, and I'll throw this in the Zoom chat so that everybody has that as well, and I'll put it in the Google Docs. So let's see, proof of community.
Does that make sense for everybody as far as what a social token is? Does anybody else do you have any more questions about that before we move on? Okay, great.
How did one get social tokens? What do we have mechanism of acquiring social tokens or giving out social tokens?
Well, I guess that would be a good segue, Serge, into this next bullet point. I already read this one here, the second one. So looking at this, decisions we must make. One, how many social tokens will we issue? That's just a quantity thing. And one of the things that I think that I would prefer to make this is more simple. One of the things, it's definitely better to have a solid foundation. So I want there to be an agreed upon consensus before we move forward with this. And this, however we decide on executing the tokenomics for REtoken DAO, will provide some framework that we can utilize for constructing the smart contracts to facilitate this from a technical execution standpoint. And then first of all, it'll just allow us to move over towards a governance mechanism like Snapshot or Aragon or Moloch DAO or DAO Stack, or so those are just some examples. So how many social tokens will we issue? And then like what blockchain will we issue social tokens on?
Before we do that, what actions generate social tokens? Like watching a video or liking something, or do we have a list of actions?
Well, I think Serge would fall under this next one. How will we distribute tokens after issue? So I think that would cover that. Would you agree? That was my intention anyway. Did you have a question?
How many people we expect?
Go ahead, Serge.
How many people we expect to participate in total?
Well, hopefully that this can support an unlimited amount of people, but I think that that's the opportunity of providing a community first approach. Is I would like this to scale on a global, support a global community.
So for example, what's the biggest Facebook group? How many members biggest Facebook group has? And we can estimate based on that how many tokens we're going to issue. If we're going to issue one to one, or what's the ratio of tokens?
Well, and that's the thing, is it doesn't really matter, because a token in crypto can be fractionalized down to 18 decimal places. So it's, you know, that's the great thing about crypto is you don't have to have a whole token. Like to buy Bitcoin, you can start with one Satoshi, and there's 100 million Satoshis in one Bitcoin. So that's the opportunity of fractionalization of a token on the blockchain.
The other thing, Serge, is the early community members might get more, and as the community grows, something that was more valuable early might be worth less. So if we issue, and I'm making up these numbers, if we issued 1 million tokens, writing a lengthy blog post with research links and stuff might be worth 500 tokens now, where when there's tons and tons of people doing that, that might be worth 5 tokens in a year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the early content, like we can adjust those things over time as long as you put it on the governance.
So I just Googled biggest group. It says 6.4 million Facebook users in the biggest group.
Yeah, and we'll go into these bullet points here as far as the decisions we must make. The question is, I don't know if there's any other decisions that we must make, and this is a very initial exploratory conversation on this. And one of the things that my understanding is, if we wanted to like do an upgrade from like community tokenomics, like if we go like put this into production, we would call this like version 1.0. And then like, let's say things substantially change 5 years from now or 10 years from now. I mean, I have a really long time preference myself. I believe that real estate tokenization is going to be here, and the foundation that we lay could prove to be a very solid foundation for decades. So that being said, I think like if we went to a version 2, that would be a situation where we could replace this and go with new technology, whether it's social tokens, might make more sense. And again, like one of the projects that's a third gen blockchain project that I'm a huge proponent of as far as a serial entrepreneur standpoint is Polkadot and Kusama. And I don't know if there's any capability today to have a social token, for example, utilizing or based on the Polkadot and Kusama architecture. But anyway, that's so to open it up. Are there any other decisions that somebody thinks that we may need to make right now, just from a pretty high level standpoint? All right, well, I'm gonna carry on here. So this is, I just used this naming convention here because this is representing of tokenomics work group number 1. And so the next actions that we've got, I don't have anything put for the next action. So digging into the first decision here is the quantity of social tokens. And one of the things that I have found of value is if you're able to integrate a story as far as why. And I've got a great little additional blurb over here for those story brand. I actually went to the Donald Miller is the author of this book that I highly recommend called Story Brand. And going back to the quantity that I am actually proposing is 277,445,000. And here's the reason why that I'm proposing a very specific number is that this is based on a report that is projecting that the global real estate is expected to be 277, or right here, this number in billions. And this isn't because we obviously don't need, so that this is 277 trillion is another way to look at that. So, and this is just a smaller version of that because I don't think that we need this many tokens. but it's an interesting number. So I just knocked off some zeros. Does that make sense? Any thoughts? How's that resonating with everybody?
If you're planning to do it a long time, does it make sense to focus on like specific local number for 2021? I don't know.
Well, so my understanding is that this is a number that you have to decide upon, and whether I think most of the time it's normally static. And this is, again, where we can dig in and do some research if we would like to spend more time researching the topic. Because one of the things that I would like to add as the next action here that we should decide upon is, and I'm going to see, when will our next tokenomics working group number 2 be held? And I'm not sure if this time will work next Saturday, and I'm not going to commit to that. As I mentioned on a different room on Clubhouse, did have a death in the family that Tyler and I will be traveling to the Midwest for here this next week. So, and that may affect our community call. So I don't know what that's going to look like. So just putting that out there, but that's one of the next actions that I would like to decide upon. And I'll say tentatively, because I do like the idea of this Saturday afternoon session. So anyway, as far as going back to the quantity of social tokens, one of the things that I think that would be worthwhile is to add some more substance to this. Like I've got this appendix here with research. Here's some examples on Bankless DAO. So this goes into Bankless DAO is, and I've got this as a comment over here. Bankless DAO is a great example of a Content Inc. community supported business model. And Bankless DAO, the way that they have provided so much value, and I think that this would actually be a good conversation to think about how we want to structure, because I think the way that I'm reading this Bankless DAO documentation is, it sounds like that they structured the tokenomics that were issued through the DAO, and then the media, the assets of the company, like the IP and stuff like that, is held by a different entity. So I think that would be a good separate conversation to have. But getting back to Bankless DAO and the tokenomics as far as the quantity, they chose to issue 1 billion. And the reason for that is that their underlying mission is that they want to help 1 billion people go bankless through the education that they're helping to provide. And they're pretty renowned for a quality newsletter. They also have a thriving podcast and the YouTube channel, which I think has close to 50,000 subscribers on it. So I'll actually add those links here in this additional appendix for Bankless DAO. So that's just one example there on the quantity of social tokens. So
that sounds more powerful story, and we can probably use UN number. Right now, 1 billion people are without housing, and we can say, hey, we choose 1 billion tokens because 1 billion people without housing right now across the world. So that's more powerful story than some kind of growth number or whatever.
I like that what Sergio was saying there, is actually putting a story behind a mission instead of a dollar figure, in a sense.
No, I think that that's a great idea. And I have no problem too, as far as like making some type of social impact. Because I think that even better is, instead of just having that like we could even say, well, what 1% of our content proceeds, however we're monetizing content within our community, or just however we're monetizing our community, like 1% of our gross proceeds will be donated to some global impact housing cause that we could all agree upon.
Absolutely. Homelessness right now is a big problem here in America to start, that, you know, attention needs to be put on. And this right here would be a good mission that we could have a you know, I mean, a momentum behind.
So let me
I like that. Go ahead.
Let's capture that thought here. I'm gonna just get this document updated. So Serge was saying 1 billion to represent the current amount of global homelessness. Is that correct?
Yes. 1 billion people without homes, according to UN.
Or just a thought, instead of focusing on the homelessness here on our initial billion coin offering, and say, you know, there's a billion ambitionists, you know, people with ambition to become homeowners, right? Is put a positive twist to it, in a sense, maybe just an idea, instead of a billion to represent global homelessness. No, there's a billion to represent, there's a billion people out there that don't own homes, that are renters, that have the ambition to own a home. Just an idea.
Yeah, and to carry that thought further, like one of the DAOs that are in our pipeline that I've actually already registered in Wyoming is Triple Win Foundation. So this would be a great way that through a sister DAO of REtoken that we could donate to the foundation, that we could put to win-win-win business models on a global basis.
I was just saying, I like Tiago's idea of putting a positive spin on it, because I mean, obviously the numbers are not accurate for a lot of reasons. 1 billion is probably low as far as homelessness is concerned, but there are a lot of people who are you know, who are not being tallied up for that. And having a positive spin on people who are potential homeowners or would like to, you know, have their own place, or something along those lines, I think is a really good. I'm not sure if 1 billion is a good number to start on. I kind of actually like your original idea, Jason. Maybe we could do some kind of combination of those two that would reflect that positive attitude that Tiago was mentioning.
Yeah, and I think whatever the number is I think largely arbitrary, where it's like, you know, like Bitcoin is 21 million, and it's just some arbitrary number. And like I said, you know, the dynamic here is that this isn't like a blockchain like Bitcoin or Ethereum. This is a token that would exist on another. This is again a social token, not an underlying blockchain. So the opportunity for us to more easily change that down the road is much easier than like Bitcoin or whatever.
I think an easier way to think of this is like more like a badge or a voting rights, not necessarily anything with monetary value. It can't have monetary value, so it's not like people are getting in early and then they're going to cash out and be social token millionaires. It's not like that. So I think that
being said, Bankless DAO is a good comparison example, and that their market cap, and it is tradable on secondary markets. Bankless DAO does have a market cap of $50 million. So it's the intention very clearly is that it is, upon issuance, will be a valueless social token to represent, again, governance and also proof of community and proof of contribution that we will hopefully define over the coming weeks.
So what are our next steps?
Well, just real quick, Young, in regarding to the market cap of Bankless DAO, how is that, you know what I mean? Where is that determined by? Just like the monetary values of their videos, or is this people that are putting money into it? Where did that $50 million come from?
That's looking at using a tool like CoinGecko based upon where their tokens, their social tokens or their governance tokens are currently traded.
So do you see a possibility of these social tokens eventually winding up like that and being traded on the open market?
I would say if we succeed as far as being the premier online community for everything real estate tokenization, because I really think that we could create a brand like one of the things when you look at from a branding standpoint. I'm going to open up a private window here. So just doing a search for REtoken, REtoken. This number right here, 37,000 is a very minuscule number, and there's not quality search results around that. So the opportunity to and just from a DAO standpoint, if we really take and architect this well, where we create a model, a sustainable and scalable business model that can grow not only intentionally but organically, the way that we'll be architecting it, and then create value through the content. I think the opportunity to do that, because going back to the brand, I think that if we do a good job with the REtoken brand, that could be because I expect security tokens to kind of be a branded thing. One of the things that I would like to see happen is, instead of just doing more of a me too type of security token, where you're taking an apartment building and then you're just slicing that up and then putting it on the blockchain. That's not too exciting to me. The thing that I'm more excited about and passionate about is a potentially disruptive business model like Crypto House through a cooperative that could really have a long-term impact for making housing more affordable, but more importantly, through the cooperative nature, equitable. Because the affordable housing, if you're just making apartments slightly less expensive than the apartment up the street, I don't think that really changes the ownership dynamic or the inequalities dynamic in that exists on a global scale.
I like where you're going with that. I agree with you on that one a lot, 100%. And I also see that it would be a really beneficial thing to actually have this branded and take off in that manner. But I also see that it would be nice to, and maybe jumping into possibly, where this would be sitting. I'm not sure how the new Chainlink options are coming up. I know that they are really, with the Oracle, focusing on the NFT smart contract aspect of it for, say, using in real estate, and to actually make smart contracts as actual contracts, and that's something that really interests me. So I'm not sure how that could fit in, but I think that might be a good place to look to, possibly finding if there's any way that we could work with Chainlink or any aspect of that would be kind of interesting, I think, too.
Yeah, and one of the things is that we're going to be very intentional about bringing a REtoken branded security token offering to market, and that's one of the things that we've already had some little conversation about in our previous DAO working group. And so that being said, that's one of the reasons that I really like to circle back to what I said earlier, as far as potentially having a separate legal entity from the DAO that actually holds the media that we'll be creating, that will really be the intellectual property of the business that I think will be of value. So that's something that I'm going to put on the shelf, but we'll have more conversation. Like one of the other topics that we need to finalize here soon is the operating agreement. So the DAO software, like this is a good way to look at these social tokens, is kind of like a component to factor into the software, like the going back to the why do we need social tokens, the governance. So this will provide the voting mechanism for the DAO. And then again, just a method of doing a proof of community or contribution. So like the as we're continually creating content and having some type of mechanism to do that. And I think that there's, let me see if I can find this real quick. Source cred, I believe. Yeah, so let me throw this in here. A tool for communities to measure and reward value creation. So this is something that we can do some more research on. I'll add this as an appendix in the Google Doc here. And I think that this would go under the social centric blockchain projects. So on the DAO research topic, another one that I think that we should do some research into is Gitcoin, and all, especially since we have an open hackathon project. Let me actually go off on a mini tangent here real quick and talk about that.
That's not a tangent.
Oh, you could talk about it more, Teresa, if you're able to talk. I mean, you've been all rolling your sleeves up and getting to work, lady. I would love to hear if you're able to shed some nuggets that you've been garnering going through that process.
Well, the instructions are not self-explanatory, and it can be difficult. I think navigating the software that they want you to use, their sponsors. I think their softwares are rather new and not really well fleshed out. And so things that shouldn't take a long time do. But that being said, it was very helpful in being able to learn some concepts that I wasn't familiar with. How the voting works for DAOs. You can earn Ethereum for signing up to do delegate votes or do a delegate pitch for other companies on there. You can upload your own project. There's things ongoing that they're adding that you can do. And when you complete them, you know, you get the reward of the Ethereum or the other token they have. Usually they want the top 10, not the top 10, the first 10 people to complete it. So there's a time issue there. So if they post something today for you to complete, the first 10 people to complete it will earn the Ethereum. Some of them are at the end, the top 3 that we like the most, but most of them are not like that. Most of them are, we're going to take the first people to finish this. And some of the tasks are pretty easy if you're, you know, already familiar. But if you're not, you'll push yourself to get through the learning curve. And so it's all about decentralized governance. So if we're going to do this, we should be meeting other people who are doing it, asking them questions, communicating with them, and learning the nuances of how this works. So I encourage everyone to sign up. And when you do, please let me know, you know, which one you signed up for, what you're doing, so you can show me how to do it. So I can be one of those 10 right along with you, and we can both get it done. We can both get credit. We can both earn Ethereum. And, you know, so it allows for duplication of services if we all get in when it's, you know, first out, and we all can be one of the top 10 before some of the other people get in it and complete it.
Yeah, and to carry that conversation a little bit further and further down another rabbit hole tangent here, which you love me for, Teresa and Tyler. So one of the things that I would like to do is create a README page on my own GitHub profile. And this is, I think, would be a good, like, just a side conversation for, like, here's my GitHub profile. So we do have a REtoken DAO on GitHub. Let me just open that real quick as well. So right now we don't have any repositories, and this is a real quick tangent. I already put this on a roadmap. So I haven't spoken about it. I'm going to go off on this tangent. This is Trello, which is what we utilize for keeping track of our upcoming events, and then also our projects. So here's the Bitcoin Decentralized Governance Hackathon, and that we've already been talking about. I'm going to circle back to that momentarily. So the one that I was talking about here, Teresa, was the migrate our website, which I think I had over in another tab. I might have closed it. REtoken info, from this WordPress over to a Web3 site, and that was something that I created on this Trello card over here. And where I was going to bring it back a little bit, my GitHub profile, so like this doesn't have any repositories yet, and my personal Team Yonks GitHub doesn't have any repositories either. And the opportunity for me to like create a README, I think that that's this tab right here. So managing your profile. So where I was going with that is gonna schedule, and I'll communicate that via Slack and Discord. I already shared the new Discord that I just created for REtoken DAO earlier. Let me bring that into the window real quick. Over here is the REtoken DAO Discord. So it's very quiet, super brand new. This is literally the first message on it, and this was also just the sharing that article, the snippet that I had in the Google Docs. So to bring it back to the tokenomics conversation, there is the quantity of social tokens. So, and I think that we should do some additional research where we could talk more about some of these other examples. And I hope that we don't spend too much time on a number, because again, it is just a number, and these tokens will be valueless is the expectation on that. So the other thing too is I like the donating 1% of the operating proceeds, the 1% of gross operating proceeds for impact our sister DAO Foundation. So, and again, this is something that we could have more conversation. So the other thing too is which blockchain will we use for social token issuance? And if you want, we could go off on a little bit of a tangent to see if there's a limitation with Snapshot. Snapshot, again, is the top, and I can't remember if I have a comment over here on that. All right, right here, yes. So snapshot.org, let me go ahead and just do a new window with that. So snapshot.org, and this is a fun number to keep an eye out. When we first started the DAO working group conversation, this was like 1.21 or 1.23K. So the big benefit of Snapshot is that it's off-chain, so it is substantially less or costless potentially, and I don't know what that looks like until we start getting in and utilizing it for doing proposals. But here's a good example. Bankless. We've talked about Bankless DAO. So Bankless DAO has a runs their DAO utilized on Snapshot. And the other thing about Snapshot is it's very transparent. Notion is a tool similar to Trello that has been potentially discussed. It's very popularly used in the crypto space. And I thought that this would be a fun tangent for conversation, because this was actually a proposal to obtain some OPEX in the amount of $250. Otherwise, the Bankless wiki was going to get turned off. I do have the Bankless wiki, and I'm going to actually put this as a bullet point in here under the Bankless DAO, because it's related in the appendix. So, oops, there we go. And this is a snapshot proposal notion.so wiki OPEX request. So that's a good just reference there as far as like a real world proposal and what that looks like. So that's, again, one of the things that this will be very transparent, but that's also one of the benefits. And you can look here, and I don't, they've got this proof of participation. Is an interesting social aspect that we could potentially explore. And that might be like over here, going back to the, let me actually add this as just a bullet point since I'm talking about it right now. Proof of, and I'm going to make this capital. I can't remember what the A stands for. Proof of participation. And I'm going to add a comment here. Social token equals POP.xyz. Okay. So there's that. There's the Bankless DAO proposal. So going back over here to the tokenomics conversation. So wanted to pause and let other people chime in here, since I just added another.
I don't know, I just Googled gamification and tokens, and I come up with, it's called Lucky. I don't know what exactly is this, but maybe we can later check it out. Lucky Exchange. Lucky.io.
So I'll add that as a additional.
But
right
I just Google it, so I don't know. But it says it provides feeless transactions.
Okay, I'll add this. I don't know what this Lucky platform is, but we can add that as a opportunity over here. Apply. And I'll add a comment over here too. Surge via Zoom WG token 001. Yeah, so I think that this should definitely be a, I'm going to add this.
So I need to turn off the car.
Keep running for just a second. Leave it on.
Oh, you've got to open mic, Amelia. So research. Oh. Research these things. And I think that we should break it out. Maybe a bullet point for each thing that we need to research. And I'm going to add one here. Research other DAOs and their token governance, i.e. Gitcoin. So Gitcoin is one that I would like to add because that's relevant to the hackathon that we're going through. We've got that, and I don't think I'm going to bounce back over there.
27815.
So we've got the this page here, and again,
Unmute her. I mean, can you mute her?
yeah, I got it muted, I think. Okay, so we do have an open project page, and real quick too, I don't know if you saw this, Teresa, when I was over here earlier, but looking at the bounties, so these are some new ones that weren't available. So this is integrate Gnosis Safe into a DAO framework. So this is one that may, again, provide a solid reason for us to move forward with the actual tokenization of the REtoken DAO, is that there's 3,000 DAI at an opportunity for us to collectively win through this hackathon project. And I don't think that it shouldn't be that hard. And I don't know what that is. I don't want to go off onto that tangent. We'll have, and that's one of the things I'm actually going to add to the next action here too is, and I'm going to put this in here too. I'm going to schedule, change this to research. So here's another schedule. Schedule for next DAO working group. And I'm just going to focus on the next working group. And we're going to, let's just plan on that on Tuesday. And of course, if my travel plans change, that's subject to change, but let's target next Tuesday at our normal 7 p.m. Eastern time via, and I'm gonna put this out here to utilize new technology. I'm gonna schedule this via Discord and see what that's look like. So, because one of the limitations, Zoom, in order to have a paid dynamic, Zoom is like what, $15 or $20 a month. And that's one of the things that I'm very cognizant about. Already talked about the bankless DAO having a real world $250 a month bill for their Notion account. And that's one of the things that, as is right now, Trello, we can add an unlimited amount of users. Trello more bills for increased functionality. The basic functionality that you get is very usable. We haven't yet paid for Trello, and we've been utilizing that for our business and personal stuff for the last couple of years. Anyway, so I'm going to schedule this via Discord, maybe Stage, screen sharing. So, and we'll focus on the focus topic is the Gitcoin hackathon. And again, the reason that this is relevant is we need to finalize the tokenomics prior to getting Snapshot online, and we really need to have Snapshot online before we get a Gnosis Safe online. And there's the potential opportunity to utilize, and instead of just like the blockchain issues, and maybe I'll think that I'll add that as a decision that we have to make is and actually as a precursor, what DAO SaaS framework, i.e. Snapshot, Aragon, Colony, DAO House, 2MA, etc. So added that as an additional decision here. Let me add that down below as well. And anybody feel free. I saw that I think Serge was hopping in here to make some edits. Feel free. And one of the things too, and this is me going off real quick on a small tangent. One of the things that I've started doing for myself over here, those people that want to be a founding member of REtoken DAO, we haven't finalized on when we are going to close the window for the founding members, but this is something that we are still actively inviting people to be a founding member. This is a master list here on Trello. And if you're wanted to be on the Trello board and wanted to be a founding member, this is my card on Trello. I started putting a little bit of stuff on here and I haven't gotten very far. I just have a couple links, social media. Keep in mind, this board is open, public right here. This board is set to public and this is searchable by Google. So it's very, very visible. So, and for the internet, it can be found at REtoken, trello.com/REtoken right there. And I'll make sure to put a link to that on the YouTube video because I'll be uploading this recording to the REtoken. And I guess that would be a good segue for me to talk about this board right here. And I should actually update this with the Discord link. Let me actually do that here real quick. And I'm gonna, while I'm updating this, I'm gonna use that opportunity for people to jump in, have any thoughts, and because I've been rambling for a minute myself.
Are we going to discuss the Seed Club submission today or the white paper?
So we did briefly discuss Seed Club earlier, and that was something that we are again moving forward with the Seed Club. And Seed Club is a basically an incubator, is an incubator model that they have. And what that looks like is if we do get accepted, we give up 3% of the social tokens that will be issued as a component of this conversation. So, and I'll put that as a factor for consideration in here under the quantity of social tokens. Let me put that as a note. Currently going through seedclub.io incubator process / application SC03. If accepted, cost equals 3% social tokens. So again, Seed Club, and that's one of the things that I'm planning on adding some more research. I'm going to highlight this note right here. Highlight, and I'm going to put a link here at Seed Club, intra document link to the heading or the bookmark Seed Club down here. So Seed Club is in our appendix, and I'll actually just change this to seedclub.io and just copy and paste this note so that it's down here as well. And add some more details later. So this is was very much a work in progress. Literally had nothing on it this morning. So let me add this breakout section here.
And add me and Kenny to the participants. There's a Lynn here. I'm not sure who's number 513 is.
Yeah, it's Tyler.
Who's TCE?
That's Tiago. I'll put that in here too. And I'm assuming that that's Amelia. Is Amy? Is that right? So going back to the next action. So one of the things going to do is add these as Trello cards. So research blockchains. I'm going to add a separate here for, oops. So did anybody have any specific Gitcoin or token governance? Gitcoin is one that comes to mind since it's related to, again, the hackathon that we're going through. And I don't know, well, Teresa and I will have a side conversation if we want to prioritize, especially with this, seeing this $3,000 purse over here. That's a pretty substantial amount. And I don't know if it's a once and done thing. And I don't want to derail this conversation. Well, it's 3 different prizes. So let's see. 1,000 each to our 3 favorite integrations. So I think that that's the expectation of a similar type of a dynamic. So, and to put that into perspective over here, this one that we have an open project for, and if you want to learn more about that, we have the Trello card over here, and I'll add a link on the video to this particular hackathon. And the prize amount for this one, where we have a REtoken DAO project already submitted, is $1,500 in, I think it's US dollar coin. And this is a build and deploy a DAO. So let me actually add that over here as a boardroom. And I'll put a special thing in here, get active. Gitcoin hackathon project, because this is pretty important. I'm going to actually highlight this in red, bold, underline. Bounty equals 1,500. So, and I guess where I was going with the side conversation is if we want to prioritize the breakout conversation, because we've got like 1,500 there, another 1,000, so that's $2,500. And I think that we could put a solid strategy together. Let me over here, we've got the Discord again. This is the REtoken DAO Discord. So do we have any other, I'm gonna pause here to make sure that we've captured all of the next actions at a high level standpoint. Do we have any others that we need to cover?
are we eventually going to discuss what kind of actions trigger rewards, like social token rewards?
Yeah, that's one of the bullet points over here. I think that we need to finalize on some of these other things. So, and I don't know if we want to just kind of like, because I do think that the factor for deciding on some of this stuff is like the opportunity to potentially win this hackathon right here. And I would rather go through the effort instead of just making it pretend. I would rather do like a very minimal amount. Like, so one of the things going back here that I think need to decide on is like the quantity of social tokens and what the, and let me, and this is me just thinking out loud. I'm just trying to break it into the decision. And I think it's just all of these decisions. I don't know. I don't know if we need to do this number 4. How will we distribute tokens after issue? I don't think that that's necessarily something that we need to decide. I think that we could potentially add in some very arbitrary things, like maybe the people that are going to be the founding members might get 1,000 tokens or 5,000 tokens or some whatever number that we decide on. And going back to the Trello list here, and this is me just talking out loud. So let me actually just add that as a bullet point over here to token distribution methodology as a bullet point, i.e. Founding members, 10K tokens, question, just putting it out there. So creating a podcast episode, 10K tokens, question. Like, let's say like a number that I've been using for monetizing the community, $20 a month member equals 20 tokens. Maybe like if we do a 195 annual member equals 250 tokens. And like provide an incentive, they get 1, a price incentive, 2, they get a token scale incentive, because if they go the monthly route, maybe 300 tokens, you know, like make it worth, they get double benefit. They get a reduced price, and then they get a 300 tokens. And keep in mind, these numbers are just numbers that are tossed around, wanting to provide a number that, and we might go down the road that we're like, man, this number is too low. We might say, okay, well, there's barriers of entry. And this is me going to go off on a little tangent. I like referring to a value ladder. Like one of the things from our REtoken DAO standpoint, one of the value ladders may be like an ambassador level, where people are wanting to host their own local meetups, and we create, as content creators, we create a course like the ambassador course, where in order for somebody to be an ambassador, they have to go through the course, and maybe to maintain their ambassador membership level, it's a $50 a month value tier, or what would that be? Maybe like $495 a year. So let me just put this as a and again, would like to have more breakout conversations on these. And I don't think that we need to finalize on the token distribution methodology. It needs to be, I think, an ongoing work in progress. I do think that having some of these initial bullet points decided upon because these are also some of the factors of consideration for what we want to mirror in some manner within our operating agreement. So a good way to look at this is like the tokens are kind of like the gas in the engine for the DAO itself. And then like the legal stuff is the Wyoming DAO LLC, and then the operating agreement where it's backed up with well-established aspects. And I do think that we should have a breakout conversation about potentially structuring our media assets in a separate media company. And that's again where doing some of this research on these other projects makes sense. And let me see, I've already got Bankless. I'm gonna add it to the specific list right here. Does anybody else have any thoughts? Let me do some of these other. So this is going back to Discord. So this is the other Discord that's set up for the DAO hack. And this is where I'm gonna be doing a much deeper dive, personally going through some of the Bankless DAO and so Gitcoin, Snapshot, Aragon,
I just had a thought. Maybe we can do email list every time you attend the clubhouse room, and if you sign up, you get 1 point or whatever number of points.
yeah,
So
so I do want to have a an email list, and I'm going to put here email list because I don't think that that's characterized at all currently in a Trello card. And that's one of the things that Tyler and I have done some preliminary exploring right now, unless we have a compelling reason why, not just for this project, but for other projects that we're working on. We're looking at utilizing Active Campaign. So I'll put this on here. And right now the thoughts are on that is that we'll provide whatever we utilize for our other projects as far as a complementary service. Right now, the way that we've been conducting the REtoken DAO affairs is strictly through the REtoken DAO Gmail list, which Teresa and Kenneth have access to. I shared the access for that account through LastPass. So do you, Serge, have any experience with email list or software email services?
No, I was thinking like just sign up list. If you attend a clubhouse room, you get 1 point if you sign up and put like Google, like simple Google form on the website or something like that. So
well,
we'll
that's
have a list
where I've
of
got
people.
this POAP. There's actual integration capabilities with POAP into Snapshot. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Snapshot, POAP integration. So, because the benefit of this is that you get, let's see. Well, anyway, I'll put that, and that's what this proof of participation. So right here, and let me add that as another research. And I was trying to break this down. So let me add this schedule. I'm going to cut this up to. Separate this into a research. So let's see. Oh, and on this, let me actually add this because one that I came across is Subsocial. So Subsocial and I'll just read it right here, an open platform for decentralized social networks and marketplaces. It's censorship resistant and has built-in monetization methods built with Polkadot and IPFS tech stack. And one of the reasons I think I already mentioned, huge fan of Polkadot and what they're doing there. And I like looking at Polkadot as a third generation blockchain technology, and it'll be exciting to see what comes out of that and to provide some substantiation. So they're biggest on their Telegram network over here, and they have 5,500 members on their Telegram. And I'll just bring that open. I think I was actually filtered on that here earlier. So I joined the Substrate or Subsocial. Substrate is the underlying coding smart contract framework that Polkadot uses. So Subsocial, this is actually something that I also have in, and let me add this into social networks proof of participation, etc. So let me see in the table of contents. Let me refresh this table of contents here real quick. So real quick, we added during the course of this conversation today the REtoken DAO Tokenomics Working Group #1. So we've got 4 decisions: quantity of social tokens, what DAO software as a service framework that we're going to use, which blockchain will we use for social token issuance, and the social token distribution methodology. So the going back to the next actions here was breaking this out. So social networks, and I'm going to put in here social proof of participation. And let me actually add, because I don't think I had an appendix in here for, and I'll put this under I think it's hitting 3. Okay, so social centric blockchain projects, Subsocial, source cred. I'm going to add over here too, proof of contribution. And the thing about, like, again, going back to my thoughts here on the decisions that we must make, how will we distribute tokens after issue? The benefit of us being very early is that we don't have to worry about, again, on the token issuance, these tokens will be valueless. It won't be until we provide a substantial amount of contribution at some unforeseeable time in the future that these tokens may or may not have any value. But upon token issuance, they won't have any value. And the benefit that we get of doing this process very early is that we'll get to learn these next gen platforms. And I want to go off on a real quick tangent here. For those that aren't familiar with DeepDAO.ai, this is a great portal of looking at the DAO ecosystems. And I'll put this in the chat here. Oops. So we've got the DeepDAO dashboard, and this is a great way where people can see the platforms that are utilized by various types of projects. So the cool thing about this is it's very easy, like to go in and see a particular project, I think you can click right here and it'll go to the actual snapshot dashboard. So this is for Rarible. It's an NFT platform, and here's a proposal that's an active proposal, and you can click on, here's one that closed, and you can see here that this one had a vast amount of support, and then you can even see who voted for this particular proposal and how much that they utilized on voting. And you can see it's a very very transparent public dynamic here. So anyway, that again is deepdao.io, and Snapshot is the top DAO platform that we're looking at, and it's utilized again by quite a few, and it's typically used in conjunction with Gnosis Safe. And to go back to the Gitcoin conversation over here, this project that we've got that will be, and I think that I've got a separate bullet point for this, is on our next action schedule. And I'm going to bring this over here, Gitcoin Hackathon. Next DAO working group, maybe make that a higher priority due to the what is that, 1,500 plus 1K, 1.5, 1.5K, and this is the boardroom project, and 1K is the, and the biggest thing isn't even the money, it's the social proof that we would get by winning these. And that's why I think that it would be of a lot of value. And we'll potentially circle back. I'm going to take that offline here, but the Gnosis Safe, so 2.5K per plus social proof. Because that's where you can really start getting a lot of momentum for projects, is that you can, again, you have the social proof that you can use, and that's huge within the crypto space. And that's one of the another reason that I really like how Polkadot and Kusama are executing, and not going to go off on that tangent right now. So anyway, so we've got the is there any other bullet points that I'm missing here as far as and I don't think I finished this, the proof of contribution. I was going to put in here source cred, proof of participation. I'm going to actually bring this open as a higher priority. And it probably, I'm going to actually bump this up into Appendix A. Let's break this into DAO SaaS frameworks. And let's do another one for Appendix B. Feel free for somebody else to talk it. I'm getting talked out here, so.
I was thinking, because we our social token won't have any value, we shouldn't use any high transaction fee blockchains in this case, because we're gonna be paying transaction fees on that. So we need to select either free, no transaction fee blockchain, or very low transaction fee blockchain.
If I understand Snapshot currently, it's off chain, and I don't know exactly how that they function for doing their governance mechanism for the recording of it, but it's a gasless solution, and I think that that's where we get into the and that's kind of why I was breaking out this appendix here for like I'm going to put snapshot here, snapshot.org, and let me actually prioritize boardroom, and this is a Gitcoin hackathon, and I think that this is a main two. Because like one of the ways that I like assessing, doing decision assessments is utilizing like a matrix methodology where you could like have a chart, or and maybe we'll put that as an appendix here as a comparison matrix. DAO, SAS. I'll put TBD. Because like that's one of the reasons that aren't looking currently is Aragon is as the costs that are associated with that. I don't know what that looks like as far as Aragon version 2. And that's the thing, is that so much of this is changing so quickly that we get a good framework in as far as like this question here. And let me actually add, this is a I'm going to just call this research appendix. I'm just going to call this research. And let's see, what was this other blockchains for social tokens? So is there, I know that you've been a fan of Tezos. How much research have you done on Tezos, Serge?
Just a little bit.
Say that again.
Just a little bit. I'm not an expert. I can try to bring some experts. Maybe I can ping some if you guys want.
Yeah, and that's a good way to look at this too. I think that we do have a unique opportunity here that I think, and that's one of the things, again, going to have some more side conversations as far as for the prioritization is these Gitcoin hackathon, because we might again have the opportunity, like going over this, integrate a Gnosis safe into a DAO framework, like $1,000 bounty, would provide a solid runway where we could potentially utilize that for making our smart contracts better. Because like the thing about Gnosis safe is that we don't have to have advanced smart contracts for the functionality of our DAO. We can have a very basic DAO where we just do the proposals. Oh, I'm gonna mute you, Serge. I think you have or Suresh. And I don't know if you wanted to introduce yourself, Suresh, to the working group. No, he got muted anyway. So anyway, going back to the conversation here. So there is an economic, not only an economic incentive for the DAO, but also a social proof incentive for REtoken DAO to move forward with actual implementation, unless we're going to do it for fake. And to me, that doesn't really make sense, because again, we have a huge opportunity, and there's nobody that's signed up for this one. So that was actually the plan anyway, to do a Gnosis safe and snapshot. And going back to the deepdao.io, that's actually how you can see that a lot of these platforms integrate. And there's a good article on Medium. Let's see, Medium, deepdao.io, snapshot Gnosis safe. And I'll add this to the article. So this is when DeepDAO added this component to their dashboard, where they started representing these guys, like Rarible right here. And here's this article, and I'll put it in the Zoom chat, and I'll try to remember to put it in the YouTube video here as well, so that people have that article. And I'll add it to the Google Doc also. So wanted to open it up for conversation. I've been talking a lot, so go ahead if somebody else wants to hop into the conversation. Okay, so going back to the, we've got the bullet points here, schedule. So let's see, blockchains for social tokens. So who would like to volunteer for doing some research on potentially some of this? And I want to open this up to volunteers for researching some of these things. Okay, just going through the list here, I think that captured all of the research items. So as far as the tokenomics working group, number 2, I'm gonna put in here target next Saturday, and that's a huge question mark. And I'll put a comment over here. May.
Hi, Jason. I was actually looking at some stuff while we were talking there, while you were talking. I think Subsocial looks kind of amazing. I hadn't actually heard of them before. That looks like that could be something that would be really worth getting into. I am just going to throw my hat in and say we should go into Subsocial. I think that's great. The proof of participation, I looked at that site, and that kind of stumped me. I couldn't really figure that one out. So I'm not sure how that works. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me with what they had on there. So maybe I'll look at it a little bit when in the morning when my brain isn't so, I'm not really an afternoon thinker. So
I agree, and just to let you know, Andreas, Subsocial literally showed up on my radar like today. I was just Googling because like was having some solid conversation on Clubhouse about Polkadot, and I was like, hey, I wonder if there's any Polkadot social tokens or something like that, just to see if we could potentially get our social token for REtoken DAO issued on Polkadot's ecosystem, if you will. And I didn't see where that was a capability, but the benefit of that was that Subsocial popped up on my radar. And from a proof of community standpoint, bringing my Telegram over here, you can see they've got 5,500 members on their Telegram. And I'm not sure what this one is. I should probably join this one too, because they've got 6,300 there. And anyway, deleted account admin. That's kind of funny. This is the one that's linked on there, and that's one of the things that you have. This one with less members is the one that's linked off of there. So you have to be very careful to make sure that you're getting accurate information. So because this is probably, I would stay away from this one. I'm not even going to join it because this is this is probably fake, and this is a good lesson as far as do your own research. And let me bring open that site here just to kind of bring it full circle on that Subsocial. So over here, go ahead, Andrea, speak up.
Oh, I'm just gonna say one of the reasons why I'm not even using Telegram is because there's just so many fakes on there. I just don't even bother.
Well, it's a great way of like one of the roots of how we even got to REtoken DAO is the Fibree and Block Square tokenization, real estate tokenization challenge. And that was really the backstory of how we are where we're at today. And like they being Block Square has a tokenization, or this is their official group over here. And I think that I've been in here. It's not a super active, this one's not a super active Telegram. And that's one of the things that just from a social proof standpoint that you can really gauge the activity level of a project. Like right here, 740 members. And then like going over here to the Subsocial official chat has 5,500 members. And that's where you can like click the official link over here, like the Subsocial. And then over here, you can see in the very corner, Subsocial. So and it's always better to join a Telegram from the official website, because there's a lot more in place as far as from a security checks and balances with websites and stuff like that than just random Telegrams or Discords, because it's very easy to start a new Discord channel. And so yeah, Subsocial official chat 5544. And anyway, so yes, I agree, Andrea, that Subsocial looks fabulous. And it kind of looks like, and to scroll back, and I don't know if I actually showed this earlier, but this is kind of a good conversation. Why Subsocial? So I'm not going to read it. Everybody, like this is an opportunity where we can circle back, and I'm going to actually go through the process of signing up, and I'm going to use Andrea's opportunity to sign up for REtoken DAO from an organization standpoint, and I'll keep everybody apprised and circle back and share my findings via this Google Doc as well. But I do agree that it looks pretty fabulous.
Guys, I have to jump, so thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for your contributions as always, Serge. And to go back to the bullet points for the next actions, again, targeting next Saturday. And right now, unless we prioritize it a higher priority, we'll probably utilize the normally scheduled DAO working group on Tuesday evening. And one of the things that I'm going to work on doing is get the Google Calendar with some integrations and start playing around with Discord. And again, the goal on this is to utilize the Discord stage, because I really expect that that will be our predominant communication and community tool going forward, as far as from a collaboration, DAO, chat, and then also just the audio and video stuff. And depending on, and they even have Clubhouse-esque type of stage. So it'll be fun playing around with tech, and always, again, open for pushing the envelope and for people that are interested in being content creators as far as hosting rooms or potentially co-hosting podcasts or live streams or whatever. We want to create a very content-centric community, and the tokenomics are one of the ways that we're going to reward the people with contributing to this content that we're going to be creating here. So again, getting back to the list here, so those are the two things that are coming up from a schedule standpoint. We also have our Clubhouse room, and I'm going to just bounce over here to this is another great place where events can be found, is on our public Trello board for REtoken DAO. And then the research, I'm going to be continuing to do a lot of research besides the research related to the Discord. I've also got the DAO Hack Discord server that I just created, because planning on launching a podcast besides the REtoken Real Estate Tokenization podcast that Teresa and I are going to be launching here within the next, I would say, week or two, maybe even sooner. So be looking for that, and we'll be talking more about that as more information becomes available. But going back to the DAO Hack podcast, this is where we're going to be doing, as I continue to research, this is a Discord is an easy place for me to share that, and just literally spun this up in the REtoken DAO podcast or Discord. And those links, again, for all of the links for REtoken are on this welcome board. And I think I updated the with the Discord. I can't remember. Nope, I didn't get it on there. So I'll be sure to get the Discord added to this landing page for REtoken DAO as well. So going back to the finalizing on the next actions here. So, and one of the things too, depending on what the research looks like, I would really like to get some volunteers to do some of the heavy lifting, but don't want to go through that exercise any more than did here. And we can take that offline for some of the stuff, Bankless, Gitcoin, other DAOs. And let me actually add that to, I'm going to break that up into an additional appendix. Let's see. And I think that some of this,
breaking this down in sections? Because I'm definitely interested in the DAO. I want to learn more about the DAO. And
well, yeah, love you too. And one of the things that, and we could potentially do it here. I don't have a hard stop from a time standpoint. I may flip off of the video because my wonderful wife got some food here, but if there's a specific area, because like one of the each thing is the area where we could do a bigger research. Like the one that I think is the highest priority is boardroom, and Teresa's already got some experience as far as what she's gone through with the active, and not only that's the biggest opportunity for us, is potentially implementing our own DAO within boardroom, because that's actually how we win this project right here, where the purse is $1,500. So, and depending on whether we want to expedite the scheduling of this, that's really the one that I would like to get a. And let me just prioritize.
What does it entail? What are the parts and the pieces involved in that?
Well, I see Teresa, and I don't know if Teresa is able to speak as far as her experience on Boardroom. She's the one that set up most of it, and I don't know what it looks like. And one of the components of this too is
What was the
us.
question?
What do we have to do to deploy a DAO on Boardroom?
Oh, I don't know. I know you have to upload some stuff and the Trello with where you do it. I mean, they have an area, and then there's like 3 different sections to it.
So I like to spearhead that then. If Boardroom is a process, because I want to research that in myself because I'm not familiar with DAO and something that's definitely interesting. And I believe in the project in itself, and especially believe in real estate tokenization. So I want to definitely be a part of that. I'll do the research and I'll come up with something. I'm sorry.
Well, you're coming in. I think I know where you're going with that. You're pretty choppy right now, Teresa. So robot Teresa. But I think the question
You
was,
already have a GitHub.
There you go, right there. GitHub
No,
account.
I don't
You
have any of that. No, I don't. I'll look that up now and I'll do the. So where should I start, Teresa?
You want to
start
create
with
an
that
account and give us the username so we can add you to our team.
Okay, so an account where on GitHub? That's GIT Hub, right?
Yeah, and I'll just right here, Tiago, create a bullet point here as the next action for Tiago, create GitHub account. So
I think I have a link to that, don't I, Jason, that I share with everyone?
So we have a this is our back office, Tiago. And
yeah, I wrote that down. That's the token, or what is it again? REtoken.info, right?
No, well, yeah, we've got. I can't remember if I've got you on the Trello, but I'll make sure.
I'm not on anything.
Yeah, so I'll make sure that I get you added here, Tiago, to the
Appreciate
Trello. It. And let's whenever we get done recording, if you want to hang out, we can actually go through that process of getting you added to the Trello. And there. So let me go back here, and we'll
Sounds good.
Complete after this recording completed. Okay. So on that, because that should be the highest priority is, and I think that the other thing, and this is again where us coming to a potential consensus more expeditiously on the whole tokenomics conversation, because we literally have one, and I'm going to go back onto video just because I'm going to emphasize this. We literally have one skin in the game as far as capital that we could utilize for potentially hiring via bounties to get developers to complete our smart contracts to support our DAO. So if we got this money on these Gitcoin hackathons from getting a DAO up on Boardroom, and that's the cool thing about this is we don't necessarily have to use Boardroom, but it also provides some tangible experience besides getting a $1,500 purse. And then we also we get the social proof, and crypto is enormously huge on social proof. And that's one of the reasons that we're recording this video right now, is to provide some social proof to the Seed Club incubator application that we're doing. And I'm going to just bounce over into Seed Club. That's actually one of the Discords that I'm in over here, and they have their announcement. So this is the announcement that came in. The Seed Club accelerator, and I can't remember if we have a public Trello board or card for that. We had an emergency conversation where we decided that we would proceed with the Seed Club incubator application process, and excited to see what that looks like. And anyway, going back to the so yeah, like let's carry that conversation offline after we finish the recording, is the Boardroom Gitcoin conversation. So other than that, I don't know if there's anything else that we need to discuss here. And I want to open it up for anybody else. I think that we've got this captured. And one of the things that I'm going to do is create these as Trello cards as a just an offline action item. But I'm going to stop talking and let other people have the opportunity.
I'm in the Trello for the hackathon, and I want to add the person who asked me about what to do so that he can get the links that I've put in here already. But I'm not sure who that was speaking or what his email address is.
It was me. It was Tiago, TCE.
Hold on. Before
sure.
you do that, I'm not where I can type. I'm gonna put a link in here and let me know if you can access it.
Maybe I'll go on.
Hold on.
Let's see.
Okay, I put a link in the chat. Let me know
Cool.
if that opens for you.
Yeah, I have it here.
Oh, and one of the things too, Tiago, with us being based in Colorado, I would actually like to get something on the calendar for a REtoken local meetup surrounding the MCon coming up, and the time frame of that is September 15th, 16th, and 17th. So let's take that offline. I'll add that as another bullet point here, but I would love to have somebody be a co-host, whatever they're called on meetup.com for a local meetup group. And now we have an immediate opportunity to create one surrounding this MCon conference, because the sooner that we get that created, the better that we can work on getting momentum towards, leveraging the momentum.
Sounds good.
Hey, good evening. This is Suresh. Sorry, I didn't know earlier when I jumped in, but yeah, thanks for Teresa and knowing everyone over here. I'm new and would like to, probably be part of it as we move ahead.
Yeah, and Suresh, welcome to the working group here, the Tokenomics working group, our first one, and would love to hear what your interest in as far as the REtoken DAO, and that way we can get you where you would fit the best.
Yeah, I probably jumped in the middle of it, so I did not know the whole purpose of the Token DAO, but from my point of view, we've been trying to bring up a platform about smart living and where we utilize some of the social components. So definitely, I look forward to collaborate on that token side.
Yeah, perfect. And I don't know, how did you get an invite for this? Because I don't remember. Is it something? Okay.
I spoke to him earlier.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Suresh. And what skills do you have? A particular skill set that you bring to the table?
So I have been more on the integration aspects. Of course, I'm not a core developer, but more on the business side, enabling some of the APIs or some design aspects. So otherwise, yeah, I can leverage, if there is some development required, then I have a small team that can do this from a blockchain or other developments, React native.
Awesome. Do you have his contact details, Teresa?
I do.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I will leave that where it is. Welcome, Suresh. And again, you're joining at a fabulous time. This is a very preliminary conversation for the launching of REtoken DAO. And are you on GitHub as well, Suresh?
No, I'm not there actually. Yeah, a long time back I did, but yeah, I'm not not a programmer, so not there right now.
Well, we aren't either, but it's one of the things that I'm increasingly learning, that just having a presence on GitHub, and that's one of the things. Oh yes, let me actually add this to a separate bullet point here is Jason Yonks host a GitHub setup personal profile live stream. So this is something that I'm wanting to do to increase, because just again, having a personal profile, whether you're a developer or like I'm definitely not a developer, but there are a substantial amount of developers that have a large amount of influence within the crypto space. So I think that there's value in that. So like just looking on this from a positioning standpoint, like REtoken DAO, but all of the people on this right now, I don't think any of these people are actually developer types, but us just being associated with the project provides social proof that it's not just, hey, Team Yonks, this one guy is like trying to do this himself. So that provides some value just from a social proof standpoint. And the GitHub profile, I think, pulls in automatically. Like this is the Gitcoin profile that I was working on updating, and I don't know if so here's the GitHub profile, and that's what I'm going to create the whatever the live stream for later and circulate that out. I'm not even going to have a target time for that right now.
Okay, sounds good. Definitely look forward to join.
So appreciate it. And going down here before we bring this to a close, are there any final thoughts? I think that, again, got everything captured. This is the last opportunity. And then again, we are going to end the recording of this session, and again, planning on uploading this to YouTube. Teresa and I are planning a breakout session later today where we're going to do our recording, our 3-minute recording for the Seed Club submission from the REtoken DAO perspective. And again, that would be fabulous if we get accepted for that. We've got, I'll make sure that we put some more information on that and keep everybody apprised of what that looks like. And I don't know how long that will be, but anyway, I'm going to stop talking and let somebody else make sure that we captured all of our thoughts here during this tokenomics working group #1.
Good afternoon, Teresa and Jason. And I think I'm going to take notes on some of these that you have discussed today and do more research on it. And then I'll probably be able to discuss more next time we have a meeting. Thank you for giving us all this information. This is Amy, by the way.
Thanks, Amy. And what I would really encourage, if there's a particular area that you want to delve into more, I'm actually gonna break out. I'm not even gonna I'm gonna remove this as a research component, and I'm gonna actually add this as a separate to do here. Is Yonks create REtoken DAO presence on social networks. Will provide follow-up on next DAO working group. Okay, thanks, Amy. And if there's a particular, to circle back to that thought, Amy, if there's a particular thing that you would like to delve deeper into, feel free to come in and update this. And again, planning on breaking out some of these specific things via actions on Trello. And I do want to just bounce back over here, because like one of the things that we do, we have a milestones, and this is just kind of a fun way. And again, this Trello board is public, and this is just a fun way, like this milestones board, where like when I finish getting the Discord updated, where we can just have this publicly available. Like I was talking to Teresa, and we're still in a very much work in progress phase for the REtoken DAO. One of the things that I was kind of visualizing with Teresa, and if anybody's good at doing logos, but having a house, I really like the house. And I was thinking on like the first line of with inside the house is having RE, and then down below just DAO. So, and because I think that we really could be positioned as like the real estate DAO going forward. Then, and the REtoken is just the component, you know, where we're talking about tokenizing real estate. Because I don't think that there's really a DAO that's real estate centric, and the opportunity for us to become the real estate DAO, like, and potentially even, I don't think it's available right now. I did look because like one of the services that I like using is Unstoppable Domains. And I did check to see if RE.DAO was available, and it's a earmarked situation. And, you know, that might be an opportunity where potentially down the road we could get RE.DAO and, you know, potentially rebrand from REtoken, or not even just rebrand, but have that just within our asset portfolio that we'll be creating here to monetize and communicate about our community. But anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent on the milestones. Going back to our working agenda, I'm going to stop talking again, and if nobody else has any thoughts, we'll bring the recording to a close here shortly.
I have a quick one, Andrea. I was looking real quick, sort of, again, as we were talking earlier, through the blockchain options, and I was noticing that there is an ERC20 that is called REtoken. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but is it possible to actually use Polkadot to launch a social token? Would that be an option?
I think that that's something that we'll have to unclose during our research. And let me add this as a specific bullet point here. IE is Polkadot Kusama a viable option? And I think a lot of that, and I'll probably what I'll commit to doing here. And well, let me actually just go off on this tangent right now, because I was talking about doing that earlier. And since we're asking, let me go over here to what's it?
I mean, I think it'd be best to launch on a parachain anyway. So if that's possible, right?
Yeah, and where I was going with that, and let me see, I don't think I have the MetaMask wallet installed. Let me do that here. So this is I've got several profiles, and I've started using the profiles feature in Brave. For those that aren't familiar with Brave, Brave is a Web3 native browser. It's basically a clone of Chrome, and it's crypto native. So here's an opportunity if you want to learn something new to and get less of your stuff potentially out of the all prying eyes of Google. This would be a good opportunity. That being said, I'll curb that, and here's let me get this MetaMask set up here.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in and say I use Brave, and I highly recommend it. That's Brave and DuckDuckGo, and I use pre-search to search on my Brave.
And I was just getting this added to this Brave browser real quick here. Well, I'm gonna take that offline. It might take me a minute to get the wallet imported here, so I'll do that after recording. So that's one of the things after I stop the recording that we can take a look at here with Snapshot to see what the actual and this was something that we went through again via the DAO working group when we were actually potentially looking at setting up the snapshot.org, and I'll bring this window back in over here. So snapshot.org is again the off-chain solution that a lot of platforms are looking or not looking to use, but already utilize. And I mean, this is a pretty extensive list of icons that are utilizing snapshots. So this is just a fun way if you want to just like take a look and see, and then to put some numbers behind that. Again, the deepdao.io, you can actually like see as far as some of the platforms that utilize this, like and I mean, we're talking about a substantial amount of assets under management, some of these situations, and some of that doesn't even necessarily accurately reflect the assets under management. Because I think that like, let me see where Ave's at on here. So there's Avigachi. And so anyway, going back, is there any more closing thoughts on the tokenomics?
Nope, no, I'm not from here. I'm excited to dive in.
Well, we'll be doing a little bit more diving in right after I stop this recording here, Tiago. And on that note, I appreciated hanging out with everybody. Again, this is Yonks with REtoken DAO. We are taking a community first approach to the very complicated topic of real estate tokenization. And again, this was the tokenomics working group, our very first working group. And this video will get uploaded to YouTube, and I'll provide some links to our community down below. We're very new. We literally just founded in Wyoming under the Wyoming DAO LLC law, formed, I believe it was July 26th. And I'll close with that. That's one of the milestones that we have over here on our Trello board, is our certificate of good standing from the Wyoming Secretary of State. So July 26th, so super fresh. And again, we're still giving people the opportunity to be founding members of this throughout the process. Reach out to me, Yonks, on social media, not hard to find. And again, comment below if you like the video, or follow this channel on YouTube. And thanks everybody. And again, this video is gonna stay open. I'm gonna stop the recording now.